I am General Christopher Musa, retired, the 18th Chief of Defense Staff, Armed Forces of Nigeria. Standing here as a great honor to present myself as nominated by Mr. President as the Minister of Defense of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I was born, sir, on 25th December 1967 in Sokoto. I spent my formative years in Sokoto before I went to the Nigerian Defense Academy as a member of the 38 regular course. I was commissioned in 1991 into the Infantry Corps, and I've been there all through my career. I've had the privilege of serving my country right as a junior officer, medium level, senior level, up when I got to the Chief of Defense Staff of the Armed Forces of Nigeria. For me, it's a defining moment because it gave me the privilege and understanding of the dynamics of the challenges confronting our great nation, Nigeria. And standing here, I pledge to give my best in ensuring that Nigeria is secured and safe. But we cannot do it alone. Nobody, no single individual can do it. No single parastatal can do it. We need the support of everyone, every Nigerian and everyone living in Nigeria, working together as a team, because it's going to be a teamwork. The enemies we are dealing with are evil forces that don't mean this country well. And they have no respect for human life. And that's why it's important for us to know that if we don't work together, we'll give them the opportunity to continue to perpetrate the evil acts they have been doing. And that's why it's important that we first must love one another, understand that we're in this together, and believe that the challenges we're facing is a Nigerian challenge. It's not only for the armed forces or for the security forces, but it's for everyone working together. I want to assure you we're going to work united as we did when I was the Chief of Defense Staff. The important thing is for us to take the ownership of the challenges confronting our dear nation. These are things that we can't defeat. We can't win this war. But until we are deliberate about it, until the way we are determined, knowing that we are brothers and sisters, and God has a purpose putting us here together, is not to destroy ourselves, but to build ourselves up. And that's, for me, the most important aspect, that all Nigerians must put hands together to defeat the enemy. The Sahel is heating up. And you can see what they are doing to Mali. We will not want such situations to come to Nigeria. And that's why our borders must be secured. Our security forces must be empowered, must be supported. And I want to thank you most especially, Mr. President, sir, for all the support given to me when I was the Chief of Defense Staff. It made a great difference. The National Assembly stood by us all through. Despite the challenges, we were able to move forward. And I can assure you that together, as a servant of this nation, we'll continue to work together in ensuring that we secure our dear country. Nigeria is great. And we will never be ashamed, and nobody can intimidate us. That I know. Because we are one people, God's people, that will continue to foster, no matter what other ones are saying. Everybody in the world knows Nigeria is great, and it will continue to grow great.
In fact, probably this is the only, as far as I can remember, the only ministerial nomination that almost everyone in the country is saying, yes, this is the right thing to do, and is the right person to be. We are so united in this country today over the nomination. Mr. Chairman, while he was CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, when we worked together with him, I saw sense of duty, sense of patriotism, sense of nationalism, professionalism, humility, and firmness. We cannot have it better than this. I congratulate him even before the confirmation. And from everything and everyone that has said anything, I'm sure this Senate will confirm him by the grace of God. But Mr. President, as much as we all know that this is a highly professional person, capable person, patriotic person. The Hausa man says, you don't approach fire with empty hand. Say, unless kokana da magani ko kai sharifi ne. That is to say, either you have antidote that fire will not burn you, or you are a sheriff. I don't know what a sheriff is in. You are born with that natural endowment that fire will not harm you. What I mean, Mr. Chairman, when we give him the job and Mr. President appoints him and swears him in, let's enable him and armed forces with what they need to operate optimally as much as we can. No investment in our armed forces and other security agencies today in Nigeria is too much. And I know Mr. President has been doing so much. He has ramped up funding for our security agencies and armed forces. But let's take this opportunity that we now have the kind of people we need in the armed forces at the leadership level. We motivate those that are in the field and encourage them by giving them what they need. Because no matter how professional they are, they cannot operate in vacuum. I believe that budget 2026, when it comes, should have more and more layers of additional resources for armed forces. And we should never make the opportunity we have slips, because our armed forces are totally committed, geared to fighting the insurgency and banditry to its finish. So let's push them with more resources and hold them responsible. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Many of our children are still in the bush. A lot of children in schools have been kidnapped. Some have been rescued, and some are still in the bush. What will you do differently? And how can you assure us that with this nominee, or with this nomination, that we are sure that you'll be able to work with a team under you to ensure the release of those children and to give Nigeria a better image? You may proceed to answer that, please.
We must build the resilience of our communities, because crime is localized. We're able to build the capacity of the locals themselves to be the first responder, because when they come, since security agencies cannot be everywhere, it's good we build them. Our schools must be secured. You see, most of the schools that have been built, you go and visit them, no perimeter fence, they are left exposed. Information conveyance, again, has been an issue. Before these informations are relayed, the use of technology. So, sir, we're going to make sure that we do a whole of society approach into addressing this issue of kidnapping of school, with technology, working together with the armed forces, the police, and other security agencies, and the communities. I think that's where the gap has been. We will be able to address that properly, and we'll be able to also secure these children and to stop issues of kidnapping all over the country. Distinguished Senator Ahmed Lawan, sir, thank you very much, sir. I think one basic area we're also going to look at is accountability of the armed forces. Whatever funds is being made, we want to make sure that the funds are properly utilized. And I think that is very critical, so that we can make sure that whatever it is we're getting are things that will help us and assist us in the members of the armed forces in carrying out their action. Senator Mongonusa, on the issue of policy. Yes, sir, I've been operational all through my life. Now the issue of policy, and I think that's very important, sir. What we have observed over time is that with the MDAs, we have not really been able to get the full support of the MDAs. I think one mistake we make is we think the armed forces can solve all the problems. The armed forces solution is just 20-25%. Majority has to do with good governance, building capacity, working together with all the other MDAs. The police has a lot to contribute. Civil defense, all other agencies, including Foreign Service, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Interior. So we need to harmonize all this diplomatically again, our neighboring countries, Cameroon, Chad, Niger, Benin Republic. We need to also reach out to them, because if they're able to secure their own borders, it means our own borders will be secured. If theirs is porous, ours is going to be porous. And because we have more to lose, the terrorists that we're dealing with think Nigeria is so rich that when they come to Nigeria, they can make it. So anything they're doing anywhere, their target, end state, is to come into Nigeria. And that's why it's important that we must make sure that we secure our borders and deny them the entry. And then those ones that are within, we're able to take them out. There will be zero policy on anything banditry, terrorism. We're going to go out. I'll make sure that the armed forces will go fully all out, working together with the locals. Because like I said, sir, security is localized. If we don't carry the communities along, we're going to continue to run in issues. So that's why it's important that we must bring them together, working with the state governments particularly. Why the Southwest seem to be doing very well, sir, is because all the governors agreed together. And that's why regionally, governors must come together, because 2, 3 are better than 1. And that's why for us to them to understand that the bandits do not respect border. They do not at all. They are, in fact, where they get their strength is the ability to run when you attack them, especially around Sokoto area, they enter Niger. And once they get to Niger, you can't touch them until they come back in. And that's why I said it's important that for the multinational joint task force in Gemena, we need to also build up their capacity to hold up down towards the border with Mali and Burkina Faso, because we're beginning to have those, and that's why we're having those incursions into Kwara, coming down southwest. And we must stop them not to get further than that. I think action has already been done and put in place. It is for us to harmonize all this, firstly to ensure that all the MDS know they have a role to play. And so one important aspect is our legal system that we need to look at. Most of our laws look obsolete, and because sometimes justice is delayed, then it becomes a problem. Because once punishment is meted immediately and action is done, it serves as deterrence to others. And that's why I think critical that we must be. And so I mentioned that all the MDS need to do the legal service, the correctional service, the civil defense, all. Mining activities have to be monitored properly, because that's another source of funding. All areas that they're getting their funds for, we must look at those aspects and stop and prevent them. And like we said, sir, the ability to also monitor where the funds are going to. If we're able to do that holistically using technology, sir, we'll achieve so much. Thank you very much, sir.
Just a minute. Since I'm the one in charge.
With the consent of Mr. President, can I read? Notice shall not be dispensed with in this case of a motion or in respect of any other proceeding for which notice is required, except with the consent of the President of the Senate and the general assent of the senators present. Then when you go to closure of debates, section 58, after a question has been proposed, which I want to propose, a senator rising in his place may claim to move that the question be now put. Sir, can I stop here just to expatiate? This is a chief of defense staff that had been in the system. He knew everything, and we are talking about security, and he's going to man a ministry that will be handling security matters for this country. Very sensitive. So I believe that we have had close sessions with him severally, and some of the questions that will be asked here and the responses may not be well dispensed at this moment. So I feel we should just allow this gentleman to take a bow and go. Not carry. There's not. This is it. There is nothing no here. There is nothing no here. We have asked him all these questions before at closed session. Do you want to ask here? Mr. President is to rule. Most of the questions are security questions. Most of the questions are security questions. Not at this time.
A few questions are begging for answers. The Senate has just set up a committee to find out from the cry of the governor of Kebbi who gave the order for the soldiers who had prior information that kidnappers were coming to the school. Is it St. Mary's School or where? Maga. And they went there and they even took the students to the field and taught the students what they would do when the kidnappers come. But 30 minutes before the kidnappers arrived, somebody gave order for the soldiers to withdraw from the school. And the kidnappers came and operated, and children were packed away. And the governor raised alarm all over. As the chief of defense staff, former, now a nominee for the office of Minister of Defense, I want you to know that this senator has set up a committee to investigate who gave that order and why they withdrew to give access to kidnappers to take those children unhindered. It's something that people would like to hear from you. And as we speak now, Brigadier General Oba has not been found, whether he's killed or not killed. He made a phone call to disclose his location. Who gave those coordinates for the kidnappers or the terrorists to go and pick him? Those are questions begging for answers. And then somebody like you, as highly placed in security service, you have been everywhere. You have attained all the ranks. You come before the Senate and somebody is saying, take a bow and go. When you take a bow and go, where is Brigadier General Oba? When you take a bow and go, where are the children? How are we going to get the children back? You should make a statement on that. Please, I will not want us to ridicule the nomination of the president. The president knows why he brought him. And he has ideas of why he brought him. Let him also tell Nigerians what he will do in that regard. He doesn't need to disclose the strategy.
No indolence, no act of cowardice will be entertained. We're going to make sure that we follow them critically to see what they are doing from the commanders down to the troops. They must be professional. I was wondering how the general himself was alone when he's supposed to have his own troops with him. So there are questions that need answering. And I can assure you, sir, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We'll find out what happened, who are those involved, including that one for the children at Maga. It is unfortunate that the troops will be there and then will leave and shortly something happened. It is unacceptable. And I can assure you, sir, we're going to investigate and all those found culpable will face the law accordingly. And we'll make sure that we monitor all the activities of the armed forces and the security agencies, make sure that they remain very, very professional. Any information that comes will be treated adequately and make sure that the troops also take action as quickly as possible. But I want to assure Nigerians that, sir, coming on board, having served 39 years all through my career in the armed forces, we have seen what is going on, we have understood what is going on, and we know what we need. All I'm appealing, sir, is that with your approval, once you come on stream, we're going to come back to you, sir, to show you exactly what we need for us to do better, for us to achieve success. We can win this war, but we must work together. We must get the support. Because I can tell you, not calling members, there are still a lot of gaps within the armed forces that is also mitigating against them, be able to achieve success fully into what we're doing. And like I said, we need the state governors, we need everyone to be on board for us to be able to achieve that. So my assurance is, from day one, we're going to monitor and review all our activities, all the operations that we're doing. Where we have done wrong, we're going to take measures to address them. Where things need to be done, and then we're going to come back again, sir, because there are areas that we need your support. And like Senator Lawan mentioned, the issue of funding. Without proper funding, it's going to be extremely, extremely difficult. But I want to thank the Senate again, sir, for all the support, but to assure Nigerians and the Senate that we are going to spend everything that is required to ensure that there is peace in Nigeria. Our children are going to be secured and safe, but it's going to be that all of us are working together in ensuring that is achieved. Thank you very much, sir.
Now we are happy with your answer. And it's just, even this morning, we are designating kidnapping as a terrorist action. and and then we have also prescribed death sentence without any option of fine. We are going this route because we want to give you the enabling legal framework for people to know that either there's deterrent. If they are not deterred, then let them go ahead and they will face death sentence. So we are prepared to give you all the support. Distinguished Senator Nengi.
Thank you, Mr. What is the problem of the Nigerian Armed Forces with technology? Example, why are we seeing these bandits with super sophisticated guns and our officers are confronting them still with AK-47? Thank you.
There have been news of soldiers, brave ones, trying to confront the situation as it is, as it confronts them. Order comes from above for them to withdraw, putting the lives of our people in danger. Like the Senate President has said, you know what to do. We want to know a little bit of what you want to do. But my major concern is Senator Uzo Kalu mentioned on this floor one day that taxpayers' money is being wasted on training our soldiers. And because of certain appointments, young soldiers who have attained a certain level of area that their knowledge is being needed most are being retired. I didn't appreciate that then until when I saw the retired soldiers that accompanied you. When you say general this, general that, I didn't see anyone with a gray hair. And I feel sad that we are wasting such talents. If confirmed as a minister, what are you going to do to forestall such waste of talent? Thank you very much.
Thank you, General.
Now that you have the chance to ask, because he told me that generals don't complain. If he had so, which is not what I would discuss, if you give him 6 months, if he doesn't get it done, he will drop the uniform. That time he was in uniform. Now you are a civilian. Now you can complain because you are no longer in uniform. As at the time, which is the tradition of the army, generals don't complain. So my question to you, my big friend, is will you ask for those things from your appointee, that is the CNC, and here you are before the Senate that promised to give you that support. So if you ask that question or you demand for that thing, I want to believe that the Senate will support you to get it. And that will mean that this issue of insecurity will be something that will be a history when we are still senators. Thank you.
Thank you.
Based on where you're coming from, the commendations and accolades that you've gotten from my colleagues is to say to you that I will be requesting the Senate to give you like what had not been done before. You will be approved, but in principle it will be probationary. If within the first 6 months these sensitive questions are not brought to bear in the affirmative, where is Brigadier General who authorized the withdrawal of soldiers 30 minutes before the operation that saw to the kidnapping of the MAGA, 25 children in MAGA, and etc., are not answered, or no progress is seen by the Senate, by extension the country, because the Senate is the country. We represent Nigerians here. If those are not taken care of within the first 6 months, this same Senate that members have applauded you, commended you, and will approve you, the same Senate will call on the president to send you packing. So that any other person that is saddled with the responsibility that you are saddled or will be saddled with, which quote and unquote will be within the sphere of security responsibilities, will sit up when and if such a person is saddled with the responsibility you are saddled with.
In my state, Kwara South, in particular, we have never had crisis of insecurity before. We don't know how it looks. But now, I'm worried because infringement on our security is an everyday affair, constantly happening. And honestly, the people are exceedingly sad and very insecure to the extent that we have lost more than 30% of our population to other senatorial districts, and Lagos in particular. Of recent, we had a visit to Jos under the auspices of Committee on Security. And I was amazed by the feeling of the people. They are really sad. Their situation is exceedingly pathetic. And I have the feeling that the present security arrangement we have might not be able to take care of this insecurity. I want to ask the nominee, what are the new things that you think we can quickly do to be able to assure the people that the insecurity level in North Central State is solvable?
There have been a couple of observations that people have raised. When young men and women are kidnapped, state governors and other stakeholders are panicking, people are responding differently. For example, we have seen reports of armed terrorists coming out of the bush and negotiating with a subnational government. And people are like, how can we negotiate? And on the floor of this Senate, many distinguished senators remind us that people know where these terrorists are. They know their roots. And in any case, if they didn't know them, how do they negotiate with them? Because once the armed forces is demystified, there is no state. It is the power of the state. It possesses the monopoly to use instruments of violence to liquidate anyone who threatens the existence of the state. So for many people, they can't understand why the state or anybody purporting to represent the state will negotiate with bandits. They come to the city, and then after negotiations, they go back. There are other stories that one cannot verify about people wearing uniforms or people they have killed and so on and so forth. Like has been said, I don't think any one of us here has any iota of doubt. If anything, I have been congratulating many people who come to me that yes, For several reasons, your appointment is a bold statement, even to enemies of Nigeria outside Nigeria, who sought to polarize our country along religious lines. Your appointment has shut their mouth down. So, in all respect, I'm pleased, I'm happy, my confidence is reinforced. But, sir, I need you to change your statement that we shall win. Number two, whether or not it makes sense for the state or sub-nationals to negotiate with terrorists, carrying weapons into the city, and then going back, as we see, these are reported from time to time, and we have seen governors saying after successful negotiations, they have achieved something. We just need some assurance from you. I think that is all. Your competence is not in doubt. The president's capacity to identify competent hands has never been in doubt. I ask somebody here, have we ever condemned any? I think you are yet another addition to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's determination to put not round peg, square peg in a square hole. That is what you represent. But I just need some assurance to tell my children they don't have to worry. We have a new sheriff in town. Thank you very much, sir.
There is a tiny defeat. Even when there is peace, there is a tiny defeat when people can no longer go to their farmland. Yet nobody is occupying the farm. But for anybody who goes, does not come back home. And people who cannot go back to their homes, what effort? I wish you can't answer that. But can you look at that sector? Because when people cannot go to their farm, it's like a defeat. But if people can get back to their farms, it's like it is over. I pray that you observe that. Sir, we're highly pleased. And we'll join you in prayers. Because your success is our success. What the president has done, we feel he has touched us at the right place. So may God Almighty grant you success. Thank you.
In my place in Ewato, Obiaja, Ewohimi, and the rest, we no longer go to farms because of this banditry and kidnapping. I want to thank General Musa, retired. I know, we all know your strength. We all know who you are. We believe in you and we trust you. And you know you will not fail us. Most of you, I want to thank Mr. President, because the Renew Hope agenda of Nigeria is what we have to keep us going. Mr. President, I kick off the Renew Hope agenda of Nigeria. And to sustain that Renew Hope is to ensure that we deal with the real issues that concern Nigerians. We know, all of us know what it was before, and we know where we are today with the Renew Hope. The Renew Hope agenda at lift Nigeria up. We know what we are. We know the cost of things before. And the only way we can sustain this is when we have security. Then secondly, I want to beg that you also look at the disciplines in the military. Because we pass through the road every day. We know what happens along the road every day. When there's no discipline in the society, and mostly the army, which we believe that the strength of Nigerians, which believe that the hope of Nigerians, you can see that if you go around, if possible, set up your task force, set up a task force and check the military checkpoints. You will discover that every point the tanker driver pass, they collect a diesel from them. Not only them, including other military and other paramilitary. They collect diesel from them. It's an insult to our nation. It's an insult to our name. It's an insult to Nigerians. They do these things, and so I want you to also look at the indiscipline. If discipline is not looked at, it also affects Nigerians. These are my few points. I want to thank you for this opportunity. God bless you.
Working together as a team. Let me start from bottom up, sir. Starting with Senator Yaradua, thank you very much for the commendation, and to assure you, you're fully committed. We're going to work together as a team, together from the ministry, with the National Assembly, with the members of the armed forces and other security agencies. All NDAs have rules to play for us to achieve success. Nobody can do it alone. I think that's the most important thing. The difference between the CDS office and the minister's office interlinked. supporting each other, giving them all the necessary support for them to be able to carry out their task. Whatever it is we're looking from the outside as they're operating, we're also providing all the necessary, meeting all the NGOs and everybody, making sure it works. Working with them closely, that is taking. There is no way that we can achieve anything without working as a team. Even when I was CDS, I tried to harmonize all the services to remove all the rancor we used to have before. And now we'll make that very, very important. I think one area that we're going to look at constitutionally is to look at the powers given to the service chiefs, the CDS, ministry. There are a lot of lacunas, there are a lot of gaps that I think is affecting our operations. And I think that is very critical. We must be able to get the service chiefs with their responsibility, the CDS responsibility, and then the ministry. Observing what is being done, following up so that we can make sure that the work, the synergy is seamless. There seem to be still some areas that is meditating against our work. I think those are issues we're going to come. I think what we'll do again, sir, is taking over. I'm going to sit down with all stakeholders. That's what we did in Maiduguri that gave us the success we did. We must make everybody understand the roles they have to play. And in doing that, once we do that and everybody's on board, it makes it a lot easier. So to say it, in Maiduguri, we had meetings with motor park, markets, commercial drivers, everybody. And when they came on board, that's when we had success. And that's why we need to really replicate, going down to make sure that everybody has a responsibility. It is not when you see something, you keep quiet saying it is not your responsibility. No. The armed forces, the security forces are not going to be everywhere. So it's important that we also work together. So Senator Anye will assure you that we're going to work closely with the service chiefs. There won't be any issues together, and including other security agencies. On the issue of the reabsorbment of the surrendees, that is not happening. We have a system that we monitor who and who we're recruiting into service. We work together with the intelligence system, the military intelligence, the DSS and all. They still go back to check all those ones we're recruiting based on the data they're bringing. But sir, I think I must mention this, which I've done severally. There are countries, if we look at first world countries, why are they succeeding? They've been able to put some basic things in place. Something as simple as a database for all citizens. So I think that's one area that we need to be, so that we can also assist the security forces, and even developmentally, we need to know the number of people in particular areas so that we can know whether we have markets or schools or hospitals in those areas. I think it's important that we must have a comprehensive database, and not the database that immigration will be having, quarantine will be having, police is having something. No, we need a unified one that will be able to carry, so that when you commit a crime, it's easier to track you, it's easier to trace. That aspect that people can easily commit one crime in Sokoto and run to Maiduguri and go and stay, or run to Kano or somewhere and nobody knows them, makes it a lot easier for them. There are countries where you commit one offense, even your bank account is closed. Your ATM cannot work. Now with ICT, we can do a lot. So I think it's important at this stage for us to start looking at how we can link up all those data together to have a unified one that will assist us in doing this. The kinetic and non-kinetic, like is mentioned rightly, sir, the kinetic effort is about 25–30%. It cannot win totally. It will give you the leverage. But sir, are we addressing those aspects that got us to where we are? Issues of good governance, poverty, illiteracy, all these aspects contribute to it. And that's why we said that the states need to do a lot. Local governments need to work. Sir, if our local governments are up and doing, the local government chairman will be dealing with the crime within their localities. And it will ease up these aspects. We need to have the police. We need to have the correctional system, and especially our legal system. So if the legal system is not proactive, and most of these crimes, especially terrorism, so in Saudi Arabia and Middle East countries, anything on terrorism, nobody jokes with it. Even your family members will disown you, because they've made it in such a way that nobody is set free once you are charged on aspects of terrorism. So I think we need to also make it very, very punitive. The kidnapping issues, the way it's been treated in courts, you get somebody and cases are prolonged, doesn't make it well. So even the security forces, when you travel and you do all the efforts in making arrests and nothing comes out of it. So those are the aspects I think that we need to do. The non-kinetic is very important, sir, because if we're able to understand that when there's justice, fairness, and equity within the people and they have a sense of belonging, you will see crime and criminality will go down. Why are we having the resurgence of criminality? We know towards the end of every year, there is always this upsurge. People want to make extra money in whatever it is they're doing. The Sahel is there. The World Terrorism Agency is increasing in its attacks all over the world. So it's not only Nigeria because we are not isolated. And that's why we're having this pressure. What we need to do, sir, is working together as a team in addressing, making sure that we address them within Nigeria and do not give them any freeway, any aspects that they need to do. We must stop ransom payments. And in doing that, sir, even when ransoms are being paid, because people want to do that, we can track the money is being paid and where does the money come from. There is a lot you can do using the banking system that we can do these things and track those things backwards. The use of technology is very important. And like I said, sir, if we're able to have a database and every Nigerian has a number linked to everything you have electronic, we can monitor anything. I think that's areas that we need to look at and be able to address. Again, the issue of the maritime environment, very, very challenging environment that is there, again, linking with the border, especially Akwa Ibom to Cameroon and those other areas. We know there's a lot increase. Normally, when the pressure is on in the south-south, they go back into issues of sea robbery and piracy and these issues on ground. Again, issues of cultism and all these things. Now, we make sure that our operations within those areas are enhanced using the Operation Delta Safe, expanding their reach. Initially, because those areas were a bit quiet, they didn't extend them, but now what we have done even before I left is we've extended operations within those areas to be able to address those maritime environments, to make sure that we stop these acts, because there's issues of kidnapping coming from those areas. Collaboration, sir, is critical. No one individual can do this together. We must work. Sir, it says no to negotiation. There is no negotiation with any criminal. And I think that should be made very, very clear. We are working together. We're going to work together with the NSA's office to ensure that states don't adopt such things, because those things compromise security. And to tell those that nobody, if you negotiate with them, they will never abide by it. It's just a moment. When they do that, they want to buy time to buy more arms, and then they were going to come. And we have seen it repeatedly. There are even localities that have done that. They still come after them. So, sir, it's a total ban on that, total ban on illegal mining, and all those other aspects that are bringing these things together. So I think we must be able to do that. Indiscipline in the military, sir, Senator Ipaya, we can assure you that we're going to address them totally. We're going to have independent patrol teams that will go and make sure that we do. And what we want to do again is to withdraw possibly all military men out of checkpoints and let the police and the civil defense handle those aspects so that we can go into the bushes and take out these criminals wherever it is they are. It's important. Farming, for us, as yardstick for us to see is farmers must be able to go back to their farms. That is to show that we're achieving success. Because as little as that is very important, because food security is big. If there is hunger, a hungry man is an angry man. And so if people can't eat, you can imagine what will happen. So for us, I think protecting the farm, working with the civil defense that have the agro farmers, agro rangers is very important for us to continue to work together. For Senator Lalong, thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate you for the commendation, and we assure you that we're going to be very firm in all we are doing. And everywhere we make sure that recruitments are going to be thorough. And again, it brings me back to a database. So it makes it easier. If somebody comes for recruitment and has a number that you can check and see everything it's telling you, it makes it a lot easier. We've seen countries having this for years, so I think it's high time we're able to do that. A lot of people now, because there is war, even the military, you find some people don't want to go to where there's conflict. They want to go to soft areas. It's normal for humans. But we always want to tell that anybody being recruited should know that you are joining the armed forces because you are going to fight. There's war going on, and you will go and fight. So going in to say that you want to avoid, and that's why some people don't want to come in, because they feel if they come in, they say they will take them to Maiduguri and all this. Basically, that is what you are meant to do. But again, we know some states, we have observed some states, some regions don't really come in well for reasons, but I think we are doing some sensitization program to try and bring them into it so that the strength can be enhanced. But like Mr. President, you mentioned, sir, as we speak, sometimes every time we are doing recruitment, we have over 70,000 that are applying to join. So we still have enough. But maybe some states do not have that number. But again, we have a way of balancing because we want every Nigerian to be part of it, every Nigerian to take responsibility of what is going on ground. So we're following all those aspects, and we don't want them to go down. But on expectations, so I can tell you, I am also feeling the heat, because when I see the expectations, when my name was mentioned, I know that I cannot afford to fail myself, fail my nation, fail my family. Whatever that we need to do, we will put in the very best, and we know God on our side, we're going to succeed. So it's important, sir, that we must continue to work together. And I assure Nigerians, I really appreciate the responses to the Senate, National Assembly as a whole, the entire Nigerians. Like I went to social media, I was shocked when I saw the response. And it shows that people are really committed in showing that Nigeria is peaceful. So when people go around saying Nigerians, we don't love ourselves, I say, no, they don't really know who Nigerians are. And it also brings me to the issue that we have on the issue of whether genocide or no genocide. We're all victims. Everybody is being killed. Everybody is dying. So that's why it's important that we must work together. And it is when we allow them have gaps that they penetrate. They don't care who they kill. These are a bunch of evil people that are on drugs. For whatever reason, we must stop the killings. Nigerians must not be killed, or anyone in Nigeria must not be killed for whatever reason. So, sir, our own target is to face them squarely and ensure that we stop the killing. Farmers should go, our children should be safe in their schools, and Nigeria is back to how it used to be before. I think that's very, very important. On the issue of whether 100 days or 6 months, I think it's important that we must make sure that within a very limited time, people should see that things are changing. We're able to achieve that, and we can still do that, and we will do that. All we need is the support. So I want to seek your indulgence, sir, that once I take over, after 3 weeks, we'll be able to come back, maybe have a closed session, because there are a lot of things that we need to bring to the fore that will assist the members of armed forces and other security agencies. We cannot say it out in the open. There are a lot of gaps that we need to close in. And I think that's very important if we're able to sit down. I'll sit down with all of them, we'll discuss, and then we'll come back again and sit down and show you clearly the roadmap. What is it that is in? What do we need? What kind of support do we need for us to be able to achieve? I think that's very, very important, sir. On issue of saboteurs, yes, sir. Normally we recruit from the society. So there will always be the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we have a system of identifying such people, and immediately we do that, we take action because we prosecute. The armed forces have standby court martials all over the country. Anywhere you commit, there are offense and there are punishments for it. And I think that is what we're going to do. On sustaining the strength, yes, we're doing that. The system we're adopting is good, and we're going to do that. Engagement of retired personnel is a good idea. We're going to discuss with the services and see. On retirement, you still have 3 years into the reserve. So we can still re-engage those ones that are retired into reserve, those ones that are still fit and capable. Most of us here that are here have spent over 30 years in service, or almost 40 years, because if you look at those that went to NDA, spent 5 years and then 30-something years. There are some that were at NMS, spent 5 years, 6 years NMS, 5 years NDA, and 30-something years. So they put in a longer years, a lot of experience. And I think my advice, sir, to the nation is that beside even the military, even in other aspects of life, these are individuals that monies have been spent on them, time has been spent, they have a lot of experience, they are very brilliant, committed in ensuring that Nigeria develops. So we can also look at other aspects of putting them in some of these boards that we have. Let us utilize them. A lot of them finish, go back and just sit down and not doing anything. And I think that's not good. Having considered the amount of money that had been spent and the experiences they have, I think we should look at the aspect of also bringing them into all some of these boards, and they will be able to bring out some inputs into bringing these things into the system. Sorry, sir, let me get this. I said issue on negotiation, no negotiation. Nobody's allowed to negotiate. And for the troops, sir, every personnel that is deployed knows why he's deployed. And the 3 things where he's told is this: you are to engage any criminal or any bandit that is armed and is about to kill you. You don't have to wait. Somebody is aiming to shoot at you and you are waiting for order. From who? Once you are deployed, you automatically have that responsibility. Or your colleague is to be shot and you know there is no other way of stopping it other if you don't kill the person. Or the community or property you are protecting. These are statutory and they all know it. So if any member of the armed forces is deployed anywhere and tells you that he's waiting for order, he's lying. He's only a coward. There is nothing like he's waiting for any order. The order is automatic once he's deployed because he's briefed before he's deployed. And I think that is very important that we're able to bring that distance. Like I said, the increase in terrorism and banditry, sir, end of the year, the times, over time, people have neglected so many things, and these are the things these are the results. So we must go back to those basics that will do that, working together with the communities, with the local governments, with the state governments, and the federal. Together, if we do that, we're going to look at and we're going to get good results. Whether National Guard or Reserve, then NYC using them, The issue of social media, sir, that's one big area we're having, is affecting the professionalism of the armed forces. And I think areas that we need to look at how we're going to address those things very well is very, very important. Funding issues, like it was mentioned, no country can have everything. So America's budget last year was about $800 and something billion, and they produce equipment. We don't produce this equipment. For everything we are buying, we buy using hard currency. A medium-range precision missile for a drone, sir, is $100,000. That is about 150 million naira. So once you fire one, 150 million has gone. Whether you hit target or don't hit target. A ship, a medium-range ship will take up to probably 33,000 liters of fuel, 10 tankers. In 5-6 hours, fuel is finished. So you can imagine that defense is expensive. And that's why it's important for us to see that we can fund. And we can do government to government. Some of these things, we can get them directly. So I think those are issues that I think we need to look at. We said 20% non-kinetic will do. The intelligence, yes, intelligence is critical. And that's why we need everybody to be on board, because when you see something and you report, action is taken. And we're able to get good results. As a whole, I think we want to assure Nigerians again, and the Senate especially, that's how we're fully committed. Coming back on stream from all the experience we have, working together with my team, we are going to make sure that we make a difference. And I can show you within the shortest possible time, sir, Nigerians will see that change. The trust they have in us will never let them down. And we count on the House. Thank you very much, sir.
Let me thank the nominee, General Christopher Musa Christopher. I don't know the rest, whether is it which PSC dagger, because no, PSC dagger, am I right? PSC dagger, yes. I am GCON dagger. Let me say that today's exercise has been a very serious one. And I want to thank the distinguished senators. There is a meeting of North Central going on. There is also a meeting of Northeast going on. There is also a meeting of Southwest going on. There is also a meeting. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate now confirm General Christopher Musa as the Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of General Christopher Musa is hereby confirmed as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let me thank the Committee of the Whole, the entire Senate, and thank distinguished senators for painstakingly taking over 3 hours or more to ask questions bordering on security particularly, and other issues of state, and issues that tend to worry the minds of our constituents.